guys.
Hi.
Our dog is here.
Welcome to our podcast.
Say hi, Callie.
She said she wanted to be a part of our podcast. So
she jumped in the chair with him.
So now she's here. I don't know how long she's going to last, but...
Callie, do you want to say something to the people?
Say something. She didn't say anything. Don't hold it up.
Breathe aggressively.
She's holding the microphone up to the dog's nose.
She didn't have anything to say.
She didn't have anything to add, apparently, but
she's here.
But anyways, hi everyone.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to Go Off, I guess. That's what we're officially going
Featuring
with,
Callie, the dog.
I think we're officially going with Go Off, I guess, aren't we?
Yeah.
But welcome back to the second one. We'll come up with better names. Maybe we should start putting some of our topics in our title. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll figure it out.
Episode 2.
Episode 2. We have some more fun things to talk about.
Yeah, we have a longer list this time, so...
Yeah, and we have some updates on some stuff.
That we talked about last week.
Just one thing, actually. I don't think... Yeah, just one thing. Just one thing to talk about. We were supposed to talk about this one this week. We didn't prepare for that, did we?
Oh,
Oops.
we can kind of talk about it a little bit.
Well, that'll probably have to happen next week. Sorry, guys.
We should probably talk about it, though.
We can at least talk about some of it. I don't know all the details, but...
I don't know all the details either, but we'll talk about what we do.
They have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Also,
anyways.
I screwed up our stopwatch. I didn't start it on time.
Oh, that's fine.
Oops.
Anyways, so...
So our chapters will be a couple seconds off, but oh well.
Is there not a way to look at the timestamp on there?
Well, yeah, I can see it, but I can't adjust this to that, and I was just going to use a stopwatch for our stuff. We'll figure it out. Anyways.
We'll figure it out.
We don't need to blab. There were some things I wanted to say. What did I want to say? We're working on a couple things for related to this channel and also just in general, right?
Yep.
Because we've got my YouTube, obviously, that I'm still working on. Her TikTok, that I don't know how active she is on anymore.
I'm trying to be. I just posted a video, I think, yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Where
are you going?
Oh,
you leaving?
I think Callie's getting down. Sorry if there's like a loud crash when she gets down.
Yeah,
she's not very graceful.
That's our dog.
But, yeah, so...
Oh,
she's just going to sit on you.
Nope, she's just going to sit on me. Okay, this is fine.
Keep in mind, this is a 60-pound dog, not a small dog. Anyways.
Okay. It's fine.
Yeah, so I just posted a video yesterday on my TikTok. I also want to briefly mention that there is a second podcast in the works.
That was the other thing I was going to mention.
With a friend of ours.
That was another thing I was going to talk about. We haven't... Well... We went to dinner, what was it, yesterday?
We went to lunch with my friend yesterday, and we discussed another podcast.
She pitched another podcast that we won't talk about.
Yeah, we're not going to give away too much. We don't want to, like...
But it'll be with her... It'll be mostly her.
Yeah.
And her friend, not me.
But he's going to come in on a few episodes.
I'll be actually, like, probably posting it and recording it. But
yeah.
I won't actually be in it. Thanks, guys.
No, you're allowed to be in it.
I'm kidding.
If, once we get it up and going, we'll start linking that, too.
Yeah.
In our description.
That one will probably be... I don't know, actually, because the other thing that's in the works is I'm trying to find a place that we can actually post this as a podcast and not just a YouTube video, because I feel like it gets out a lot more and it's easier to listen to when it's just audio than... Because YouTube, the only way you can listen to it is just audio, is to pay them money. So, but all of the places, they have like a free version, but you only have a certain number of hours that you can like either put on per month or put on total. What are you doing?
Taking a picture.
Oh my goodness. So, and we don't have money.
Yeah.
But I am starting a job hopefully this week. So... At one point, we will have money that we'll actually start using a podcast thing. Yep. But for now, for the first couple episodes, it's probably going to be just YouTube.
And we're going to try to put together a proper, like, channel header and profile picture.
Oh, yeah. We're working on a profile picture and
we'll try to make
art
this
and that kind of stuff.
Look a little better.
Yeah, theoretically, I was going to do something with a green screen for something else, but I missed the time. But we could do that for this.
We could.
We could get a green screen for this.
And then we might be able to put some of the stuff behind us that we're talking about and not just have it up on the...
Well, that would be smart, actually.
Thing. So
we
they
could
have, like,
also
points.
we can also just leave the Squish in front as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can
Anyways,
just put something in the back.
if y'all
Not
have
the
any
point.
ideas,
We're just blabbing
let
now.
us know.
But so that's to come. What else are we working on?
I
That it?
am working on another TikTok that should be posted either tonight or tomorrow.
Oh yeah, and I've got another video that's gonna get posted after this video gets recorded. We are recording this the day before it's posted because I work tomorrow.
Yeah, so today is
So-
October 9th.
Yeah. So I work tomorrow, so we can't record tomorrow. But
Yeah, and it takes forever to export.
it takes
these.
forever to export, y'all.
So.
It's like 100. It's like, what is it? Like 30 gigs or
Look at
something.
Callie's face.
I see her. Hi.
Hi.
This is the cutest girl, goodest girl,
The goodest
right here.
girl. This is the dog we have an Instagram for.
Yeah, this is her. So if you want to see more of her,
Go on
go on
Callie,
her
the goodest
Instagram.
girl.
We'll try and be
put it in
better
the
about.
description.
We'll try and be better about upload. Oh, she's falling.
Oh, are you falling?
Yeah, I think that's all the updates and stuff we have related to like us and what we're up to.
Yeah, so I think we can jump right in.
Yeah, well, we're still kind of. Are you okay? Are you falling?
She was
Are you
slipping.
falling? She's good. Don't worry about it. We take good care of our dog.
She's fat and happy.
Yeah, she's fat. That's a good description, actually. She just chowed down her whole meal, so.
Yeah.
I
I think we're good to
yeah,
start.
podcast, updates on us, updates on where we're going to be. Okay, what's the first thing on the list? I don't even remember.
The first thing on our list is...
Oh, it's the A&M game.
Yes. The
Yeah,
A&M
well,
Alabama game.
That just ended like
Just
an
ended
hour ago.
Less than an hour ago, I think.
So, we're not going to say anything yet. I'm just going to go ahead and show you
We're going to show you
the score
the screen. If you know anything
about anything.
you'll understand.
You'll get it.
why this
I
is a
feel
big
like if
deal.
you know anything about anything, though, you already know that this game happened because this isn't going to be posted until tomorrow. But she's very excited about it.
Very excited.
I'm excited that Alabama lost, if we're being
I'm an
honest.
Aggie,
But-
so...
Oh, I just spoiled it. Oops. Alabama lost.
So here's our score. We are by no means football commentators.
No. I know a couple things about football, but that's just from my
we're
family.
just gonna
so.
hit a few high points. Do not expect me, especially, to use football.
Do you want to know?
language.
Do you want to know the high point? Do you want to know the high point? Oh, I clicked a button on accident. Do you want to know the high point? Can you not lick me, please? We're trying to record, sweetie. You can't lick me. This is the high point right there. Alabama has one lost, and who is it to?
A&M.
A&M.
Now-
Not even ranked, big
Now,
boys.
here's the big. Let's talk a few statistics first. One, this is the first time that Alabama has lost to an unranked team in a very, 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 long time.
Like 2007 or something.
No,
like that.
that was not. They didn't lose that game. They were trailing in that game, but then won.
So it's been a long
We were
time.
winning at halftime.
Yes.
They caught up, and then in the last 1 second of the game, we kicked a
scored
field
the
goal.
field goal.
But few high points. One, A&M played very, very well.
They did.
Our quarterback is not our first string quarterback
Second string
because
quarterback,
our
which
first
is
string quarterback
even
got
more
hurt.
embarrassing for Alabama.
He got hurt in the first game. He broke his leg, so he's not playing anymore.
Awkward.
So, Calzone?
Calzone? He's not a calzone. Calzone.
The
something
Cuban
like that.
Missile.
Hold on. I'll find him.
Calzada.
Not calzone. Calzada.
Sorry, we aren't joking to be disrespectful. We literally
Honestly, had no idea what it is. I read his name earlier. Couldn't tell you what it was.
But his teammates and people call him the Cuban Missile because he's from Cuba.
He did a really good job.
He can throw a freaking rocket,
Yeah,
basically.
He did a really good
So
job.
he was super solid in the first half. We were up 14 points going into halftime, rocking and rolling.
So
feeling
awkward when the
good.
second string quarterback's better than the first. That's just
Yeah, and I'm pretty
It's
sure
so
their
awkward.
quarterback, or at least one of their players, is up for the Heisman this year.
yeah. Well, I was gonna relate to a different scenario with the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm not actually 100% certain that Dak Prescott's better than Tony Romo. Honestly, I think they're about the same because Cowboys have the same record they had with Tony Romo. So nothing's changed with the
Yeah.
Cowboys, but
So, going into the second half, we were feeling good. Oh God, now Tails is coming up here.
all right. We have all of our. This
Record
is how
scratch freeze frame. Yep, that's me.
This is how we live.
Tails is currently like facing off with Callie.
They do this. Callie doesn't care about anything. She's so chill. She'll let you pet her no matter what. She loves pets.
Tails is
she
probably
licks
gonna get
you
my
all
lap.
she wants.
Yeah.
So she don't care. The problem is Tails comes from a family of dogs
I'm gonna get
who
her before
would.
she steps
Yes,
on.
please do. She came from a family of dogs who like to
Attack cats.
attack her and mess with her.
No.
So she's not sure about Callie in any way.
But
They've gotten a lot better though.
Yeah. So anyway,
She hasn't
sorry.
hissed at her
This
in a
is
while.
probably going to happen a lot because they are both very needy.
This is how we live.
Anywho, so going into the second half felt really good. We were up 14 points. Alabama started slowly catching us. We had a very big misstep, and they basically tackled our punter.
Okay, gonna get a little controversial.
Hang on,
here.
before you do that, let me explain the play first.
Okay.
They basically, so as our punter was punting the ball, they grabbed it and kind of tackled him.
They grabbed his leg.
They grabbed his leg, kind of, and ran it into the end zone for a touchdown. That was big awkward.
Awkward. My whole thing about that is, honestly, sorry guys. Honestly, I think that should have been a foul in my opinion because if you go to the other end of the spectrum, okay, and you go to a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
When you tackle a quarterback when they're in the process of throwing, so their arm is moving forward with the ball, and you hit them, that is a foul.
Yes.
But apparently, with a punter, if their leg is in the process of hitting the ball, and you hit them, that's not a foul.
So here's basically what happened. Let me set the cat down.
Just let her run off if she wants to.
I'm just trying to keep her from climbing up on the keyboard.
She'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
So the punter, here's the punter's holding the ball, right? Here's him holding the ball. Here's his leg. He lets go of the ball.
Yeah.
And his leg is about here. The ball is about here.
Yeah.
And he gets tackled, basically.
Yeah.
And the ball makes contact with his foot as the guy is, like, grabbing his leg.
But
so
the last, foot or so towards the ball was made by the guy who hit him.
They didn't call it a foul because it made contact with his foot. But if you look at the play, the ball made contact with his foot because the guy hit it into his foot.
Yeah.
Anyways, they get a touchdown, but then the very next play...
But we won, so it doesn't matter.
The very next play, in my opinion, the most exciting.
Oh, this was kind of funny.
The very next play, our quarterback, Calzada?
Calzada.
Yes. No. Calzada didn't do anything.
No, it was what's his bucket?
Punt. It was a punt.
It was a kickoff return.
So it was a kickoff return.
Oh my goodness, my shirt's
We catch it. And my personal favorite guy on this whole team is Devin A-Chain. Or A-Chain. I think it's pronounced A-Chain. He's a running back for us. He catches it and runs...
Oh, I gotta clean off my shirt real quick. Hold on one sec. It's covered in dog hair.
And runs 98 yards and gets us a touchdown. The very next play. And I looked at him and I said, A-Chain saw them get a touchdown and said,
I'll take that back.
I'm not having any of that. Let's go.
Because now it was back, the score was back where it was previously.
Yes, which was we were 14 points up.
Which, it didn't stay that way for very long, admittedly. Because they caught up and tied it. But hey, we won. So
Alabama ties it.
We won, so who cares,
Goes
right?
for a 2-point conversion and is 1 point ahead of us. And there's 5...
Oh, I don't know. You were watching.
There was
I wasn't.
3 or 5 minutes left. I can't remember. And we get possession of the ball. So we make some plays. We're just trying to get into field goal range. Because if we can get into field goal range, we can beat them with a field goal.
Yep.
So we get into field goal range. I'm freaking out at this point.
Oh, she's losing her mind.
Because...
Scared the dog multiple times.
You don't understand how big of a deal this is. Alabama is ranked number 1 not only in their conference, but in the nation.
Oh, no, they're the number 1 college football team in the nation.
Ever.
And they have been for a
long time. So I'm freaking out. They get it in field goal range. Jimbo Mr.
Jimbo. Mr. Jim.
Was freaking me out. I knew he knew what he was doing, but I was watching that clock click 5, 4, 3. It gets down to 1 second, and then he calls a timeout.
Yeah.
I was freaking out. So they get set up. They're getting ready. Our kicker, is practicing over
As they
on the.
do.
And before I tell you that, our past quarterback, when the game we beat Alabama was in 2012. We beat Alabama.
With Johnny Manziel, the one and only.
Who won a Heisman, but is also an alleged girlfriend beater. So, he was there tonight. They showed him multiple times. He was there. And, yeah, that's great, cool, funky, fresh that he was there. Cool, supporting your team. Chill. You're out here, you're doing your thing. But this man had the audacity to bow when the camera was on him, as if he did anything.
Well, to be fair, he was the last person to beat Alabama. So
yes, but he
did do something.
It was very cocky and arrogant, in my opinion.
Where did he go to school again?
What?
Where did he go to school again?
Who?
Johnny Manziel.
A&M?
Yeah, well, that explains it. A&M's just very proud of themselves.
Yes, but that
I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
No, they're proud of themselves, but that doesn't make the people here cocky and arrogant.
They are a little... Some people are. Okay, here's the thing. Some people take it a little too far. I'm not saying that's everyone. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be very proud of your school. It's just, don't take it too far, like Johnny Manziel. There you go.
Anyways, so he had the audacity to bow as if he did something. Anyways, so we're in field goal range. Our kicker comes out, and basically...
he sinks one.
Yeah, he has to make it from the 28-yard line.
Which is easy.
But the problem is, we were all watching, and the ball... So here's the pole. Here's the post.
The post.
As the ball's coming at it, it starts going like this. So everyone... That would have been, freaking heartbreaking. To be fair,
a little bit funny.
We would have gone into overtime. We would not have lost right then. We would have gone into overtime.
But who knows what would have happened. But hey, they won.
But we won.
Long story short.
We kicked ass.
A&M won. You're not supposed... No bad words.
Beat the hell out of Bama. That's a saying here. I'm not saying anything bad.
It's bad words.
Anyways.
The Christians won't like that.
So we won.
The Mormons won't like that. Oh.
So we won.
Well, they won. Fun, long story short.
We won. Oh,
A&M
the
won.
last funny little thing is when we won, all of the people in the stands ran down onto the field.
Lost
and the announcers were like, yeah, that's a $250,000 fee that A&M's going to have to pay for that. But they don't care. Like, they don't care in this moment. Because it ruins the field.
Oh.
And there's like a whole big thing. So they're gonna have to pay like $250,000, but like nobody cares.
$250,000 ruins the field, my booty.
I don't know
People
if
run
that's
on that
actually
constantly.
wild, but I'm assuming.
Why does it make a difference?
It's a whole, and I think it's like a safety thing. Also,
well, yeah, obviously it's a safety thing.
Something I do want to mention is if
Especially
you
with
watched
the C word.
soon as A&M.
What are you doing?
As soon as A&M won, 2 police officers walked up next to the Alabama coach and were like walking him across the field. I don't know if they thought he was gonna get like mugged or something.
I mean, he was in A&M Central.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so
I understand why they would be a little bit cautious.
Last little thing is, Jimbo used to work for, the Alabama coach.
Nick Saban.
It's
the only coach name I know. Nick Saban.
He used to work for him. He was an assistant, I'm pretty sure. And he is the only one of Nick Saban's assistants that's now a football coach that has beat him.
Ha! Ha! Who's Jimbo? Have I seen Jimbo? Do I like Jimbo?
Jimbo looks like every middle-aged white man.
So he looks like Nick Saban? No, I'm kidding.
Yes! Anyways.
I don't know if I like Jimbo.
That's pretty cool. We like Jimbo.
Obviously, I like him somewhat because he beat Alabama. So
yeah.
Honestly, I don't think he even knew that was coming.
No,
I think his team just showed up and he was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
As an Aggie, I can tell you that everybody in this school did not see that coming. Because we all went... Because my first reaction before the game started was, okay, I know we're going to lose, but hopefully we make it a good game.
Bad,
like,
you know?
Because last year we got 50 smoked. Like, we got absolutely blown out of the water last year.
Yeah, that last year was bad.
But, is A&M better than UT? Anyways, so, long story short.
Thing that people ask on.
We won, so that's pretty chill.
Oh, dang. University of Texas at Austin is a much better academic institution than Texas A&M. They just straight up say it.
Yeah, because it's literally 10 reasons why Texas is better than Texas A&M, and Bevo is
UT is ranked number 52 in U.S. News National University rankings, while A&M is number 37. And they're like, oh, UT is so much better! When you rate a statistic that says that A&M is better. I'm confused.
Anyways. Oh, little fun fact, just because I saw Bevo is greater than Reveille. Fun fact about Bevo, and if you don't know, Bevo is the UT mascot, the Longhorn. Bevo is named Bevo because A&M, a long time ago, branded the score 13-0 on their Longhorn after a game that we beat them. And so they had to...
Which is just funny.
So they had to change it so that it wasn't that score. So they changed it to Bevo, and that became his name.
So their mascot's name started with A&M beating them. Mm-hmm. Which is embarrassing for them.
So anywho... but yeah, we won. That's pretty cool. Also, Jimbo did say in an interview before this game about Calzada. He was like, yeah, you should see this guy in practice. And in one of these one of these days, it's going to come out in the game. And clearly it did. Clearly he, buckled down and said, this is when it matters.
But not the other two previous games that y'all lost. Didn't matter then. But Alabama gonna beat those guys.
He got hurt, right near the end of the game. He got hurt really bad. They had to carry him off the field. And because he got hit in the knee, as he was throwing
knee injuries are bad.
Pass. But my man said, I gotta play this last play. I gotta do this.
I gotta win this.
And my man walked back out on the field, put it in field goal range, and said, there you go.
What was the last? I was gonna say one more thing. Forgot what it was. Crap. I was gonna finish it off on one more thing, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I think that's all we have to say about that, right?
Anyway, yeah,
A&M won.
It's pretty cool.
Go
A&M won, yay!
Alabama lost.
So.
Which, maybe I'll get ranked now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll click our stopwatch to start our next topic. Okay.
Alright, so next thing is updates in the Gabby Petito case.
Yes, ma'am. That's next on the list today.
So, first thing I want to say is Brian has not been found.
Nope. Not officially or unofficially or anything.
Not officially or unofficially or anything. There's a lot of conspiracy theories.
There's so many.
Which we're going to talk about a couple of them.
Oh, are we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we are. Okay.
But the first thing and most important thing, in my opinion, is...
Are we starting with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her family created the Gabby Petito Foundation. They have a website.
There it is.
If you go to this website, which is literally just GabbyPetitoFoundation.org.
Yep.
Which we'll link
just
in the
look up
description.
Gabby Petito Foundation, and it'll be the first link. I guarantee it.
So there's this picture of her with a quote, and then if you
such a cool picture. Just throwing that out there.
And if you scroll down just a little bit, they're selling this bracelet
and
this bracelet, and all the money is obviously
going to the foundation.
But yeah, so there's these two. There's also an event that they're doing
in New York.
If you live in New York.
Or if you're close.
Or you
just want to go.
Yeah. This is a benefit.
It's a
event.
fundraiser basically.
Yep. And it's live music, food, cash bar, 50-50 raffle, silent auction, bunch of fun
stuff that they're gonna have. They're gonna have some bands and
it's a $20 donation to get in.
Yeah, and it's lasting for 6 hours. It's in New York. It's probably going to be super fun, and it's going to help a good cause. So if you're nearby or you want to go, definitely do that.
Yeah. And then
they have a P.O. box, apparently. I just realized that.
Yeah, they have a P.O. box. And this does say our first official fundraiser, so maybe they're planning on having some more in the future.
Oh, for sure.
But you can also just straight up donate.
Yeah, just donate.
Like, if you don't want to buy the bracelet
or you want to donate more than a bracelet.
Or less, or whatever, any penny helps.
Yeah, basically.
So you can definitely donate.
Let me see if they have, like... I haven't looked at this site, so... Yeah, you just pick a number, and you just PayPal it to them, so... Yep.
And you can also, if you go back to that, you can also make it a monthly donation.
Oh, I didn't know PayPal did this stuff. That's awesome. I'd like to add to my donation to help offset. Oh, so they probably have their PayPal set up as business, so it's going to take a fee. So you can add a little bit more to cover that fee. Yeah. So they get all the money and not have to deal with a fee.
So there's that. And then if for some reason you do want to contact the foundation, there's a P.O. box and a contact.
And apparently a message thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So that's that.
That's the whole Gabby Petito thing. You know, definitely check it out if you want to help out with that. All that.
Yeah. I definitely want to buy.
We'll get some.
The bracelets. For sure. But yeah, these silicone ones are $10. These I believe are metal ones are $13. But definitely a good cause. Let's see if they have.
Oh, they have a whole bunch more.
Mission statement. So I'll read this really quick for those of you that may not be watching.
Read the whole thing, or can I abbreviate it?
I was just going to read the whole thing.
Okay, go for it. That's fine.
So this is their mission statement. It says for Gabby, and then the Gabby Petito Foundation will be a registered 501c3 organization founded by Gabby Petito's parents. Gabby went missing while on a cross-country road trip that included visits to many of our national parks. After an intensive search, it was discovered that Gabby's life was tragically cut short. The mission of this foundation is to address the needs of organizations who support locating missing persons and to provide aid to the organizations who assist victims of domestic violence situations through education, awareness, and prevention strategies. We wish to turn our personal tragedy into a positive. It is our hope that Gabby's foundation will bring these important issues to the forefront of the public eye to benefit all of our communities. So basically, the money is going to go to other foundations that help with missing persons and also to raise awareness for domestic violence, which is super cool, and I'm super excited about this. Yeah, they were on the Dr. Phil show.
Dr. Phil show, they've got bracelets, and they're doing that music thing. So.
Yeah, they went on the Dr. Phil show, and Dr. Phil straight up told Brian to turn himself in.
Yeah, well.
But anyway, so definitely check that out. Every little penny helps, so even if you can't afford to buy a bracelet, just $1.
Go give them $1.
So
give him $1.50.
That's the most important
$2.50. I can do it for $2.50.
That's the most important update we have. But let me give you some updates on the case itself.
Yes.
So Brian's sister Cassie, her house was being hounded by protesters.
Yep.
And so she decided to break her silence and talk to some of them.
Things. We'll go through some of the more important and abbreviate all that stuff.
Basically, the biggest thing she said was she saw Brian when he came home. She wished that he had come to her about it because she would have turned him in, basically.
Yeah.
And she said she would not say whether she believed that Brian actually killed Gabby or not. She said, I don't know.
Yep.
And she said silence is not guilt.
Which, to be fair, it isn't, but also a little sketch.
But we also don't know if she was talking about Brian or if she was talking about herself.
Yeah.
Because they have not said anything up until this point. And it was clear that it was not planned. She made it very clear that the Laundrie's lawyer she is not a client of their lawyer.
Yeah, it's just
so
like the parents,
she can say whatever she wants and do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
So it's very
She's been
clear
in contact with the lawyer, but I don't think she employs him.
I think she pissed off the lawyer by talking.
Good.
But anyway, so that's that. And then that was October 4th and 5th.
Mm-hmm.
October 7th, Brian's dad was spotted aiding in the search in the Carlton Reserve.
That happened
Very
as well.
weird to me because their lawyer has also admitted that they lied recently.
I remember that.
So not sure why the police would ask
him liars
where their son is, but go off. I guess. So anyway, one of the conspiracy theories going around right now is that Brian's dad is seen talking with a police officer that looks a lot like Brian. Like, a lot like Brian. But we have to remember that Brian is a very...
it's very easy to look like Brian. Yes. You just be a white man who's in his 20s.
Let me see if I can find a picture.
We showed him last time.
I know. I'm talking about the cop.
Oh, Brian, literally shave your head, be 20 and white, and you look like Brian. So...
Yeah.
So we can't, like, be like, oh, this person looks exactly like Brian, because...
Yeah.
Does he? You know?
So
yeah, let me see what I can do here.
Yeah.
That's the closest I can get to that. Let me just oh, let's not show that. Or the top one either.
Why is this happening? Right. Okay, hang on.
I got it.
Just This is
There we go. Got it. We're professionals. Okay, so that's the cop. Oh, sorry. That's the cop. Mm-hmm. And that's Brian. So they do look very, very, very similar, but also, you know, he has a beard. He's white. He's in his 20s. He looks like Brian, you know?
I mean, to be fair, he looks a lot like Brian. Like, his beard is the same shape.
But also, come on. If Brian was there, do you think the cops would not notice?
People are saying that the cops are in on it, and that's why they're not looking... That's why they're not, like...
I don't think it's Brian. I don't
either.
Because... Literally, it's not that hard to look like Brian. I think
the reason people think it's Brian so much is because someone said something about him being hidden in plain sight. And so people are now, you know, speculating.
I don't think it's Brian.
I don't either.
Because, again, it's so easy to look like Brian.
Yeah.
He has a beard, right?
And I think in the last video we talked about the engineer that called from the Appalachian Trail.
We did. We talked about that.
We haven't gotten any updates on that. Dog the Bounty Hunter has gone basically remote silence from him, radio silence. So
who knows where he is?
We don't really know what he's doing right now.
Maybe he needs to check out this cop, I guess.
Yesterday, his daughter tweeted, hopefully there's some big news I have to share with you later or something today. Big news to share with you today or something. That tweet was deleted. So not sure what happened there. But anyways, back to October 7th. So the whole thing with Brian's dad looking. One thing I didn't notice until... Can you switch it back? Mm-hmm. One thing I didn't notice until just now is why does Brian's dad look so happy when his son is missing?
Yeah, well...
Like, I mean, I don't know. They could just be having a nice conversation.
They're probably just here's my take on it. I think he's a cop. They're out looking. They're just having a nice conversation. And this picture, because all photographs are made to look a certain way, because you just take a bunch of them and then you take whichever ones you want to make it look a certain way. Mm-hmm. So I think he's probably smiled for, like, a couple seconds.
Yeah.
And the dude was like, this is the one I'm going to use. Because it looks like he's happy, and he looks exactly like Brian from this angle, you know?
Just so you know, I'm looking down a lot because I have notes on the updates.
So, personally, I think I don't think it's Brian. Because, again, so easy to look like. I could probably look like Brian,
I agree.
Honestly. If I had a beard that I could grow to look like him and I was side profile, I would look like Brian.
Everybody that looks like Brian is having a really rough time these days.
But I don't think it's Brian. I think this photograph is just timed perfectly because media makes things the way they want. So that's my opinion on it. But.
Cool. So then the other conspiracy theory we'll talk about real quick, and then I'll get into actual updates, is people think that Brian is currently living in a bunker under his parents' yard.
Oh, I remember that one.
Because there's a video circulating that looks like... so
I don't get this video.
His parents were caught on a drone, like gardening this little like garden thing that they have. And if you slow down the video and zoom in, it looks like someone's hand reaches up.
I don't see
under
that.
The grass, like under the dirt, and then it looks like his mom hands it something, and then it disappears again.
I didn't see that. I saw a video on TikTok. about it, and they were playing it, and I watched it again and again and again and again, and I could not see what they were talking about. That doesn't mean it's not there, but I couldn't see it.
I saw it, but the question I have is am I seeing it because I'm actually seeing it, or am I seeing it because I'm being told that it's there?
Yeah, and your brain's filling it in because something similar is there.
Now, if we talk about the facts of this, if you talk to anyone in Florida, they will tell you that that does not make sense because there are not basements, there aren't bunkers, there's nothing because it's swamp country.
Yep, you can't. It's the same reason we don't have basements in Texas. You can't have a basement because the ground shifts so often, and it's so wet that you can't have a basement.
Now, don't get me wrong.
It's possible.
I think the laundries are really sketchy and they're hiding a lot. And I think they helped Brian get away.
Probably did.
But, that being said, I do not think that they are stupid enough to hide Brian in their house or on their property.
I don't think so. I think he's somewhere. Whether that be dead, alive, or actually missing. Like, maybe he was supposed to be somewhere, and then something happened, and now he's actually missing.
Here's my take on it.
But I don't know.
My thought is, 1, he's gonna have to come out from wherever he's hiding eventually, especially if he's out in the wilderness, because he's gonna need supplies eventually, and he can't stay hidden forever. I don't think he's dead.
I don't think
unless someone or something else killed him, I don't think he's dead.
Unless it was like a nature thing, maybe.
Because
I think
he's too cocky and, manipulative and just narcissistic from what we've seen of him in, like, the body cam footage and stuff, to unalive himself.
I think he is gonna have to come out before winter.
Yeah.
Because if he's out in the wilderness on his own, he's not going to survive winter.
Yeah.
Especially if he's in the Appalachian Mountains.
So either he's hiding somewhere out
maybe
in the wilderness,
in Florida,
or maybe someone is hiding him. We don't know.
If he's in Florida, he might be able to do a winter because they're really mild there. But if he's anywhere north of Florida, there's no way he's going to do a winter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then last couple things. As of October 8th, the updates we have, there was another banner being flown over the laundry house that said, "In the silence, justice for Gabby." This is being funded by TikTokers. I follow the guy that started the thing. They've flown 2 now, I think, that this is the second one. Basically, everybody's just trying to put pressure on the laundries to actually do something. Say something, because they know more than they're letting on.
Yeah.
And so, at this point, we're either going to find Brian or his parents are going to do something.
Yep.
And
we'll see.
I do just want to mention, there's a lawyer I follow on TikTok. If I can find her TikTok, I'll try to put it in the description.
Who knows?
But she talked about how at this point, because the lawyer admitted that the laundries lied, he said it in a different way, but it means they lied. They can get charged at this point. If they can convict Brian of killing Gabby, then they can charge the parents because they've been admitted to lying.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. Northport Police and FBI have come out with a statement that basically says they couldn't keep an eye on Brian more than they did after Gabby's disappearance because he was a person of interest.
He wasn't an actual
So they could not do anything at that point. They could not detain him. They couldn't keep a very close eye on him because he was a person of interest and not, a suspect or anything of that nature. As of today, or as of the 8th actually, there's no evidence in the Carlton Reserve that Brian was ever there. We don't know if that means they're going to stop searching there, or if they're going to continue the search.
I find it hard to believe they've searched the whole thing, because it's massive. Yeah. But
so there's no evidence there, but we don't really know what that means as of right now. They haven't really said. And then the last thing I already mentioned was Dog has gone completely silent, basically, which could mean he's on to something and he is,
or it could just mean he's somewhere where he can't.
Yeah, and his daughter is trying to keep us updated on Twitter, but as of right now, that's really it. I know it's frustrating. Like, I know it sucks that
it's hard to not know what's going on.
To not know, and to, you know, because at this point, everyone that I know, at least, and everyone on TikTok just wants justice for Gabby. It's not even about Brian. It's about, we have to find him to know what happened to Gabby, because he's the only one that knows.
Well, and I mean, he probably told his parents what happened, but they're obviously not going to say anything, right?
Yeah. And so that kind of brings up the fun discussion of, if that were my kid, I would have thrown him under the bus the minute they came home.
Yeah.
I would have been like, you killed your significant other. Like, nuh-uh. I love you, you're my kid,
even
but
if he didn't kill him, he just left.
He just left her.
Yeah.
Even if he did not kill her, he left her. Yeah. And that's arguably just as bad. So, I mean, like I said, please don't send hate to anybody. But also, you know, we gotta take out the dirty laundry. Like, we just... Anyways,
yeah.
So...
Alright, I think that's
really it there. Hopefully next week we'll have...
more updates. I would like to say that next week we will have a big update, but who knows?
Who knows? We'll see.
But we'll keep you updated every week, of course. So.
We're hoping for dog, because the police haven't done much.
Yeah, okay.
Except search a swampy reserve.
Fair, honestly.
But anywho, so that's that. The next topic we're going to talk about is not an upcoming event or like a current event.
No.
It's just something we wanted to talk about.
It's something we wanted to talk about.
So, we're going to talk about normalizing sick and mental health days.
Yeah, because earlier this week I was sick.
Yes.
Honestly, it probably had to do with this podcast. Because we recorded on Sunday. We recorded Sunday night, right?
Yep.
And... I woke up Monday morning with my throat, like, dead, basically. It hurt to talk. It hurt to swallow. It still does, but it's a lot better than it was that first day. And I think it was because I overstressed it here, but it's been going on for almost a week now, so now I don't know. But it's slowly been getting better every day, so I just I drink a lot of liquids. I take Advil, gummy bears, by the way, if you want a little singer secret, because I did sing for a long time. If you have a sore throat, gummy bears do a good job of helping relieve that for, like, if you need it for, like, a short burst, for example, singing a song. Having a couple gummy bears, or just gummies in general, they help with that. Because I took a whole bunch before I went to work, and for a little while my throat felt a lot better. There's the brand that's really good at it, but I don't remember what it's called. Maybe I'll put it in the description or something, because I just finished off the bag and I didn't bring it inside. But anyways, gummy bears, good for that. The point is, I called into work Monday morning and was like, hey, I don't feel good. I feel sick. And it was like, you know, I don't think it's COVID or anything, but I'm sick. So I didn't go into work, and then I took Tuesday off as well. That was more of a mental health day than a sick day, if we're being honest, but I still wasn't feeling 100%. So the point is, my manager was super chill about it. She didn't really care. But I know a lot of places that if you call out sick or you call out more than a couple times, I have it at work where they said once that if you called out more than twice, they would just fire you. Or you call out twice or something like that. And I called out twice, haven't been fired, so I don't know if that was just you called out for no reason or you called out for being sick. And I think that, here's my take on it. If you're calling out all the time and it's like a regular thing and you never have a reason, that's completely different from, you know, every now and then just being like, hey, I'm sick. You know, like, if you get sick, don't go into work. Yeah. That's why the flu gets spread so quickly. That's why this virus got spread so quickly. It's because
everyone felt like they could not afford to miss
and a lot of places
work.
A lot of places can't because you're living paycheck to paycheck. And I feel like you should get a couple days a year minimum that you can be like, hey, I'm sick. I can't come into work today, but you still get at least a little something for it. And this happens obviously in schools too, like, you know, especially in college and high school. If you miss a day, you're way behind, right? And with the whole pandemic stuff, they had all the online stuff. So if you were sick, you could, like, I didn't go to my senior year of high school. Mine was all online. So if I was sick, it didn't matter.
My freshman year of college was all online.
Yeah. So if you were sick, it doesn't matter because you were in bed anyways watching. It's not like you were getting up.
Yeah.
For school anyways in the morning. So.
Well, and my big thing is normalizing mental health days, because I think it's really important to be able to prioritize yourself every once in a while. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, normal health days are even more frowned upon than normal sick days, because you can't just call into work and be like, hey, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I can't come in today. Because they'll be like, wow, that sucks, come in or you're fired.
Come in anyways or you're fired.
So...
And again, it brings back the whole thing of, if you do it all the time, then that's different. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're doing it twice a week, that you're just not going into work, that's, they have to get rid of you.
Yeah.
Right? But, you know, once a month, once every other month, couple times every other month, that should be completely acceptable. Because, one, people get sick. Mm-hmm. That just happens. Mm-hmm. There's nothing we can do about it. You could be the biggest germaphobe you are on the planet. You're still going to get sick sometimes. Yeah. So I don't know why we haven't accepted the fact that people get sick and they're going to miss work.
Well, and one thing I want to briefly talk about with the mental health side of it is, this isn't really my story to tell, but it's my mom and she won't care. But there was a point in her life when her anxiety got so bad that she could not get out of bed for like 6 weeks. Like, she could not get out of bed, like, could not leave the house. And, in today's day and age, you can't do that.
Yeah, no.
Like, you would be fired.
I mean, there's people who could do that. Like, my dad could probably get away with that.
But my point in saying that is, your mental health can be debilitating.
Yeah.
Like, it can be to the point where you can't get out of bed. Or you can't, you know, do basic things like shower, eat,
get
dressed.
I mean, obviously, there's nothing we can do about that. You can't. If something like that happens and you just can't, there's no fix for that.
Yeah.
And there's no job that I know of that would let you take 6 weeks off unless you can work from home.
Yeah.
Unless you, like, my dad could probably get away with working from home for a while if he needed to. But no, you cannot jump up on the
Tails was trying to
desk.
Jump up on the counter.
But it should be okay to call your manager and say, hey, I need a day.
Yeah.
I just need a day to relax, get some things done.
If you don't call in all the time, and it's like once every few months or something, you should not have to lie and say that you're sick if you're not, when you just don't feel like going to work.
Yeah, well, and I had a case where, anyways, I had a case where I had to suddenly leave. So it was the weekend, and my parents were out of town. They were in Odessa, I believe, because that's where I had to go. But and I went to work on Saturday. I worked 4 a.m. to 12 or something like that, and I was supposed to go in the next day. And Saturday, I got a call from my parents. Things happened. Anyways, the point is, I had to leave.
Like, go out of town. Like
6 hours away.
Be
like,
town.
I drove to Odessa, basically. And so I called the store, right? Because I don't think we had a manager at that point, right? Because that was right after Tim left, I think. Mm-hmm. And I was supposed to go in the morning and do the whole, basically run my department, even though I wasn't getting paid to run my department. I was expected to get up at 4 a.m. and run my department, which I'm still not happy about, that they made me just run my department for hours, multiple times my whole shift, and also hours in the morning, and I didn't get paid any extra or anything. But I was expected to take on all that stress and all that work for nothing. Mm-hmm. Still not happy about that, but I got over that. I've moved on. The point is, I had to call the store, and my least favorite manager was there. But I was like, you know, this is...
He wasn't your least favorite manager until this incident, though.
He kind of was, but he was the only one there, so they transferred me to him, and I was like, hey, I know, I'm just letting you know that, you know, I got to call into work tomorrow morning. I'm not going to be able to make it because I am on my way to Odessa for a family emergency, right? That was what I said. Well, not exactly that, but that was the gist. Was, hey, I'm not going to be there because I'm not in town, right? And I have to, I had to leave suddenly, and I'm not going to be there tomorrow. And his response to that was, well, what's the emergency? And I was like, well, it's a family emergency. It's related to my
And first of all,
family.
Just as a quick side note, in a, professional setting, they're not allowed to ask you that. If you say it's an emergency or, a family emergency, they cannot demand to know what that emergency is.
Because
they don't have the right to do that.
Violates your privacy, basically. So my response to him was, well, it's a family emergency. I'm not going to share family information to you. I'm not going to disclose what's going on with my family to you. Right? Mm-hmm. Maybe if we were closer, I might say something. But I don't even know you, right? I don't know what you would want. I mean, I don't think you would do anything with that information, but I don't know you. I'm not going to say anything to you. And it would have been one thing if his response was, oh, let me know, if it was like, oh, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
Let me know when you can come back, that kind of stuff. If that was what he had said, I would have been like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But his response to me was, well, what's the emergency? What's the family emergency?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to disclose that information to you. I'm not. And he got all upset at me, and he was like, well, this is your job, and you have to tell your job what you're doing. And I was like, he's like, you're expected to show up at your job. And I was like, whatever.
And this was
whatever.
the first time you'd ever called in.
I think I had previously, but I had called in previously because I was throwing up.
And it was one day that you missed.
Yeah, and it was one day, and I called the store manager, and she was like, we don't want you here. I was like, I threw up most of the night.
Yeah.
And she was like, don't come in. I didn't even ask for the day. I hadn't even said anything about not coming in. All I'd said was, hey, I'm sick.
Yeah.
I've been throwing up, and her immediate response to me was, don't come in. And I was like, okay, great. That was the one time I've called in, basically. Yeah. And so, and this was completely out of he was a semi-new manager, and it's completely out of the blue. And I mean, I emailed my store manager, and I was like, this is what happened. To me, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
I was like, this is unacceptable. I don't need somebody yelling at me for my
when
private
you're currently
family
driving 6 hours.
Yeah.
And weren't going to be at work. Even if he had been like, you have to be here.
I wouldn't have been there. If he'd been like, okay, well, you were expected to be here, my response would have been, I won't be there, and I would not have shown up that morning because I was not in town.
Yeah.
So I would have had to leave at 11 p.m. just to make it to work on time. And I wasn't even going to make it to Odessa until 8. So I was like, what? No.
Yeah.
The point is, most of my managers were super chill about it. I could text them or call them and be like, hey, I'm sick. I just threw up.
Yeah.
Or something came up. I felt like I could have done that. I did that twice. Maybe. In the year I worked there. But I felt like I could do that to them. And they wouldn't say anything. But to him, we never got along after that.
Yeah.
He was always mean to me. Not directly, but indirectly, he'd make me do weird things that served no purpose. And my last day there, actually, he was the closing manager, and as soon as it hit 9:50, and I was supposed to get off at 10, because we closed at 10, he went and came in the back room and sat and stared at me until it hit 10 o'clock to make sure I did not leave early. And when it hit 10 o'clock, I started walking out the door, and he was like, what time is it? And I was like, 10 o'clock. And then he was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I should have, now that I think back about it, it was my last day. I should have just left. Yeah. I should have. Because what was he going to do? Fire me? It's my last day.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I was going with that story. But the point is, things happen, right? Sick days, you get sick, you need a day. Family emergencies.
And I'm sorry, but basically anything is more important than a corporate business.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you work at a corporate business.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say which business I worked at.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to start anything. But I don't want to get it. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to get involved in that. But It was a corporate business.
I worked for a, like, person-owned business, like a small business, and my manager was the owner, and he was a family friend, and he was always awesome about everything. Like, I would be like, hey, like, I can't come in, I have school, like, school-related stuff. He'd be like, cool, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think corporate businesses definitely have that issue.
It's different.
Because when you're working for someone that owns the business, it's more of like a human to human.
Yeah.
Whereas when you work for corporate, it's human.
They're expected to
these higher up, like, seen as gods in the company, basically.
Well, and the manager is expected to do a certain thing, and when a person calls out, it's a lot harder for them to get that thing done. They're going to get in trouble for it, right? Because corporate doesn't understand that things happen. They only care about numbers, which is a big problem when you work at a corporate business. I had many, many problems with it, where they would get mad at us for things that weren't in our control because our numbers looked bad. And
then schedule you on days you asked off, or...
Yeah, etc. You know. But the thing is that I feel that businesses should plan for a person or two people to call out.
Yeah.
But the problem is, nowadays, corporate businesses are trying to keep their expenses down as low as they can. So they either short staff, right? So even if everybody shows up, you're still behind. Or they're staffing to the perfect number. So if one person calls out, you're screwed the rest of the day.
Yeah. I went into PetSmart today to return something, and I was talking to the cashier, and I was like, oh, you're, like, super busy. Hopefully when the game starts, you won't be, because the Alabama game was a home game for us. So I was like, well, hopefully, like, once you get closer to the game starting, it won't be super busy. And she was like, yeah, typically game days are our busiest days, and it doesn't help that 3 people called out today.
Yeah. And
it was literally...
honestly, when stuff like that happens, it's fully expected that you're going to fall behind. You can't plan for that.
She told me she was the only cashier there, and her manager refused to be on register. Yeah. The line was backed up to almost the back of the store, and she had no one she could call for backup.
Yeah.
Because the manager refused to be on register. Which is shitty on the manager.
It's bad on the manager. Because your manager, your whole point is to make sure that your store runs smoothly. That is what you're in charge of, so you go anywhere you're supposed to be.
And, like, this
and
poor
all
girl,
of my previous managers, well, except for the one I had a problem with, would do that.
And this poor girl, she was there, she was doing her best.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hope you have a really great day.
When you're in a situation like that, and you're hourly, you're bottom of the thing, you just have to do what you can do.
Yeah.
Right? You're probably going to get yelled at. It's going to happen. But it's not your fault. There's nothing more you could do. You just do the best you can, and show up when you're supposed to, and leave when you're supposed to, and anything else is not your problem.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing is...
Also on that topic, normalize standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
And not letting your bosses, like, take advantage of you.
Normalize getting the days off that you're supposed to, that you asked for at the very beginning of the thing.
Yeah. Normalize telling your manager to kindly piss off.
Yeah.
Because you're not coming in.
And here's the biggest thing. Normalize not having to come in early.
Yeah,
or stay late. Like, I understand things happen, but if you know that it's going to be a busy day, schedule more people.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. I agree. And I just think it's ridiculous that it's expected for you to commit your soul and your life
to a job
that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't mean no jobs matter. I just mean, like, in our case, like, him working for a shitty corporate company. I'm sorry.
You gotta...
Sorry.
Imagine my parents are right here. That's what you gotta do.
A bad corporate company. Like, that job ultimately did not suit you, or, like, did not, like, benefit you at all other than the money. Like, it was not...
an experience, but, like...
But, like, it was not
gonna help me in the
life-changing for you.
No, I didn't get a career out of it. Like, the experience is gonna help me go get another job just like it. Right?
Basically.
Like, the job I'm hoping to get, the experience helped me there, because the guy I talked to was like, yeah, you know what you're doing when it comes to the things that you'll be doing. And I was like, yeah, because I did them.
Anyways.
But that's it. It's not going to help me get up to, you know, where I'm making 6 figures at all.
Yeah.
So
to make a long story longer, normalize sick days and mental health days.
If you own a business or you're in charge of a store, be nice to your employees. Just they can leave.
Just remember that your employees are people.
They are people, and they can leave.
Yeah.
And would you rather miss them for a day or have them put in their 2 weeks?
Exactly.
That's what should matter. Exactly. Because a lot of places are hiring currently. They could go another place, I promise. Yeah. And especially with the young ones, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. If you mistreat them, they will leave.
They won't even put in a 2 weeks. They'll quit on the spot.
And here's my thing. Here's my thing with it. If they give you respect, they deserve respect back.
Yep.
If they are a horrible employee, are late, they call out, 3 times a week, then you can treat them like that. But
even
if they are,
then, I mean, as a higher up though, you should not treat anybody poorly because that reflects badly on your store and like your company.
But if they're being a horrible employee, that's different.
No, I agree, but
that's
I'm just
completely
saying.
Different. But if they're one of your best employees, or they're just a good employee, treat them with respect.
That shows up, does their job.
Yeah, treat them with respect because they're giving you more than they have to.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I always try and be a good employee and do more than I should. Yeah. But I don't have to.
Yeah.
When you ask for help, or you ask me to come in on my day off, or you ask me to come in early, I don't have to.
Yeah.
Right? Because on that schedule, it says when I come in.
Exactly.
And all I have to do is show up for that time and leave when you told me to.
Then they have the audacity to get mad at you when you say you're not coming in early or staying late.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, if you wanted me here, you should have scheduled
me.
It's just like asking you to come in on your days off. Like, if you wanted me here, you should have scheduled me.
And obviously, if you have, 4 people call out, it's not... Here's the thing. Asking for help is not a problem.
No.
Because if they're not busy or they want to, go for it.
Yeah.
Right? They'll come in. But you can't expect them to.
Yeah.
Right? And there are certain situations, like there's a guy on TikTok who has people who are on call constantly. And, he can... interrupt their day whenever he wants, and they have to show up.
Yeah.
But one, he told them
They've consented to that.
They agreed to that contract. They don't mind.
Yeah.
And 2, he compensates them for it. If they're on a date, and this is an actual thing, if they're on a date, and they get a call, and they have to interrupt that date and leave, he gives them money to redo that date.
Yeah.
Because he called them out.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, if you have good employees, and they're respectful to you, be respectful to them. Understand that they are human, they are trying, they're giving you more than they have to, and things are going to happen.
Yeah.
That's the majority of where we were going with this.
Yeah.
I think that covers most of it.
that covers most of it. There's not much else we could say.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Moving on to the next topic.
Cool. This is a rough one. We're not going to spend long on this one, I don't think. We're just going to talk about it
this happened in Arlington, Texas, at the high school there.
Just go for it.
It's hard to call it a school shooting because it wasn't really, but it was.
But it wasn't. It happened at a school, and it was a shooting. So.
Yeah. Basically, what happened is, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Just so you know, as far as I know, no one died. So anybody that said somebody did is not, aren't telling you.
I read something about how there was a teacher or something, but I don't think it's true.
It's not. 6 people, I believe, were injured.
Something like that.
They were all taken to the hospital. I don't know the condition. I think most of them are fine.
There might be some that are in a kind of critical condition, but I think they're all recovering now.
Yeah.
Because it happened a couple days ago.
And I think I read a thing that only 2 people were shot, and it was the teacher and one of the students. Basically what happens is a kid brought a gun to school, got in a fight with somebody, a physical altercation, throwing this other kid around, pulled out a gun, shot him, and then shot the teacher that was trying to split them up.
Yeah.
Is what I'm under
That's what I've heard as well. So.
That's what I know. That's what I think happened based on what I've read.
Yeah.
It's hard to say it was a school shooting because most of the time when you say school shooting, you think gunmen came into school.
Yeah.
With a gun.
Yeah.
To shoot everybody.
But that wasn't what the situation was.
But that's not really what
happened. He just had it, basically.
But obviously, people didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Other than the kids that were in the classroom at the time. But, nobody really knew what was going on. And it's just, super scary, obviously. And the number of school shootings continues to go up.
Yeah.
And, which is awful.
Yeah.
Because no kid should be afraid to go to school.
Yeah. For sure. Especially, like, elementary, middle school.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have to worry about going to school. And, obviously, like, most places you don't. You don't really have to worry about it.
I mean, you do.
But,
in this day and age, you do, because you never know.
But also, like, it's not like it's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to school, you don't have to worry, oh, is it going to be today or is it going to be tomorrow? It's, you know, there's probably, like, a 1% chance, if that it's going to happen at your school.
Yeah.
But the fact that
happens at all.
That there's a high chance like that, because that's pretty high compared to...
And here's my big thing about it, too, is... all of you that go to public school or have gone to public school know exactly what I'm about to say. We are taught to be sitting ducks if there's a school shooter. You go hide in the corner and pretend you're not there, even though the gunman obviously knows that there are people in the classrooms
are full. Like, obviously, there will be some that are empty, because that happens. Not every classroom will be full 100% of the time. But 90% of them are full.
And, like, yeah, I understand. You don't want to teach kids to fight violence with violence. But when it's that serious, you can't just sit and do nothing.
You gotta fight back.
Because, here's my thing. I had a history teacher. Absolutely love
Best history teacher ever, by the way.
We had a lockdown drill in his class once. And he was like, I'm following protocol. Go sit in the corner. They're going to come check the doors, yada, yada, yada. And then after we all sit down and he locks the door and turns off the lights or whatever, he comes over and he's talking to us and he's like, I just want y'all to know, if this is ever a real situation, we're barricading the doors. Like, we're not just going to sit here and do nothing. Like, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you guys are safe.
Go home.
And, yeah. And I think a lot of teachers feel that way. Yeah. Because any teachers that I've talked to or seen on TikTok are like, if it came down to it, I'll take it I'll take a bullet for those kids.
And I've thought about being a teacher. I might still be one, but like, if that was me, I'd be like, we're fighting, you know, because there's 30 of us, 32 of us or whatever, and there's one of him, and if we can save everybody's life in this room and for the cost of mine or something like that, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it's sad that teachers have to make that decision.
If we don't fight back, he's just going to clear our room and go to another one. Yeah. And then there's more death. But if we can stop him here...
Yeah.
And, like, I understand, because I don't want a kid to die. Right?
Yeah.
But I'd rather have... This is going to sound really bad. But I'd rather have one die than 60.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and
yes, it would be so sad that he died. And I will mourn him forever and remember him, and he will be a hero. But I would rather have one die than 60 plus.
Well, and here's the thing. I understand that there's only so much you can do in that situation, because it's a bunch of unarmed people against someone with a gun.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like, there's more that you can do than just sit there and do nothing. Yeah. And, like, the one example that I always use is in the Parkland shooting, which is, to date, I'm pretty sure the worst school shooting.
I don't know a lot of this
information. It's one of the top few. He literally would shoot through the little glass window and then put the gun in the door. He never went in these rooms, as far as I know.
And if you're by that door and he does that, you can grab it.
Exactly. And it's so over. By teaching kids to sit and away from the window, where you can, if you're if you reach into one of those windows, you can point a gun anywhere in the classroom.
Anywhere in the room.
But if you're sitting right by the door or right under the door, you just get that.
Yeah. Most people, they, like, the doors have, like our school introduced, like, a proper lock that you're not getting that door open.
Oh, yeah. Our school, our old high school that we graduated from had, I think they're called Rhino locks.
Yeah.
And they're literally, they bolt the door into the ground.
You're not getting that door open, I promise.
Even if you, like, reach in and unlock the door, you cannot get it open. Yeah, like, you cannot get the door open.
But here's the thing. Most people who are in this school shootings and that are inexperienced, right? So most likely that gun is the first thing that's coming through that door,
well,
right?
And not only that, but a lot of times in the school shootings, they're teenagers.
Yeah.
So, like, they're scared kids that are just, like, lashing out in the worst possible way.
They're gonna make dumb decisions.
They're gonna be scared. They're gonna be stupid.
And they're gonna be inexperienced.
Yeah.
So most likely that barrel is the first thing that comes into that room. And if that's the case, you can get it from him.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if it's like a teenager or a kid to a teacher.
Yeah.
Right? Because that teacher's probably stronger than that kid.
Well, and here's the thing.
And so you just have to grab the barrel and rip it from him.
It's horrible that we have to talk about this, that this is a problem that we have, and that teachers have to make the decision whether they're going to die or all their students are going to die. Or, it's horrible that these topics even have to be talked about. But they do.
They do.
Because of the society we live in currently. And, not just school shootings, but mass shootings in general happen so often. And even though it's not every day, a mass shooting is a big deal. So even if it's happening once a month, that's more than it should. And a lot of school shootings especially go unreported.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them don't even make the news, which is sad.
I think good news is, I think a good amount of them get stopped before they even happen. Yeah. Or before they
I know personally in our high school, we didn't really have much for a while, but my senior year, they introduced, or actually it might have been my junior year.
I think it was your junior year.
They introduced a security, team, basically.
Ooh, that might have even been your sophomore year.
And it was a bunch of ex-military guys.
Or ex-cop.
Or, ex-police, ex-military, that are there because they want to be.
Yeah.
Which I think is super important, because in the Parkland shooting, the police officer on campus did not react quickly enough. But he was forced to be there. The cops get assigned to schools. That's the way that it works. So they don't get to choose to protect these kids,
Whereas if you get somebody who went and got that job and chose to be there and wants to help the kids, they're going to react so much faster.
And these guys were the nicest guys you'd ever meet. But I felt confident that if there was something going on, they would have stopped it.
Their arms were the size of my head, okay?
These men were big.
They were big and scary.
If someone came into that school, they weren't making it very far.
No, and there was, I think, always at least two of them, I think, in every school.
Well, and, personally, I mean, I have really bad anxiety, so I'm paranoid, but I know with all of the school shootings that happened, especially when I was in high school, every time I went into a room, all I could think about was, okay, what is the quickest way out of this room?
Yeah.
Where is the closest exit? What am I going to do if I have to get out of this room? And that's so sad because I know I'm not the only one. It's sad that we even have
to bring this up.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to worry. You're going to school to get an education. You shouldn't have to worry about this.
Well, and here's the thing.
You should be able to focus on your work.
In college, it's a lot less common, but it's still just as scary.
It's still possible.
Because
some cases it's even worse because classrooms are 300 people.
Well, and not only that, but if you think about it logically, some college students are of legal age to own a weapon already.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Especially in Texas.
Probably about 50% of them.
But
we differ a little bit on when it comes to guns.
Yeah.
On our opinions.
But we can both agree that Governor Abbott is a dumbass. Anyway, sorry.
You gotta get better about that.
Anyways.
How are the kids gonna watch?
They shouldn't be watching this. We're talking about school shootings.
That's fair.
But anyway, it's really sad because a lot of the time it is avoidable. And,
it is.
With
a lot of the time.
I keep bringing up the Parkland shooting because it's the most recent, huge one. But, after the fact, when they searched Nicholas Cruz's phone, there were videos of him talking about the shooting.
But most people
when
don't
he was
actually
gonna do it and
take that for granted or whatever,
But anyway, so it's really sad and it's hard. What do we do? It's hard to know what the right answer is. But we need to do something. And personally, I don't think arming the teachers is necessarily the best course of action.
Not a horrible idea, I'm just saying, but not a great idea, just not a horrible one.
Anyway, so it's really sad that we even have to talk about this, but I did want to bring it up, especially for those of you that live near Arlington or in the area.
They probably already know it happened.
Yeah. But just, be cautious, be careful. And, hopefully one day we'll live in a society that it's not as big of a problem as it currently is, but...
Okay, I think that's that topic. I don't want to talk about it any longer.
Yeah,
because
so
it's sad. So
moving on to the next thing, the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, this is a lot more upbeat and fun than the other one. Most of the rest of them are. So that was our one heavy topic for the day, right?
Yeah, I think so. So the Zodiac Killer was recently allegedly identified.
Yeah.
So first thing is the guy they identified it as is dead.
Yeah, he died in 2018.
His name is
who they think
Greg
did it.
Or something.
Oh, hold on, I'll look it up. Keep
Starts
talking.
with a G. Gary. I think it's
Gary Francis Poste or Poste or something.
Poste.
Poste. Gary Poste.
So basically, I'm gonna show you.
So the information. Okay, so the information I have is there's this picture. I got it of that. So this is the drawing or what is it? The suspect witness or something?
That is the
I don't know a lot about this case.
It's the sketch. So someone described him to a police officer.
So this is the sketch that they have, and then this is a picture of the guy that they suspect at roughly the same age, I think, of when this picture was taken. And yeah, there's some similarities.
The main evidence here is what is circled, which is the forehead.
Yeah, they look very similar.
There's a very defining scar, I guess, that matches. But, I kind of agree with a lot of people in saying, so forehead wrinkles makes you the Zodiac Killer?
Yeah, no, I don't think that... I think this is just when you put together some of the other evidence as well. Yeah. I think this puts it together pretty well.
Yeah.
I think... Again, I'm not 100% sure that this is the right person, but this is the closest I think we've ever gotten to being suspect of somebody.
I think there was also something about if you take the letters of his name...
Yeah, I was about to cover that. So he has a bunch of letters and stuff that he sent, right?
If you don't know a little bit of background on the Zodiac Killer, I'm sure you know, but if you don't, the Zodiac Killer would kill couples and then send really cryptic notes to the police that were literally in code, cipher, basically. And they eventually figured out how to read these notes.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
They found an encryption key.
I'll keep here. You talk about some of the other stuff. I'm gonna read about this just for a second, y'all.
They figured out a way to read the notes that were in code. And so it was just basically him taunting the police and being like, "You're never gonna find me. Good luck."
Yeah.
And he would talk about the couple that he killed and everything. This case has been cold for years.
This was in the 1960s and 70s.
So 50 years. This case has been
And they've been
unsolved.
trying to solve this cipher for... So this is some guy in France. He did a bunch of stuff, 3D animations as a teenager. He's good shape. And he stumbled across something that they've never been able to solve 2 ciphers from the Zodiac Killer. And they've baffled a whole bunch of people. There's been plenty of people who said, "Oh, I figured it out. This is what it says." And then they're that's not true. But this man said that he cracked both of them, including the one that reveals the killer's identity, by using an encryption key that came to light in December and creative code cracking techniques. He posted some videos and stuff like that, where a bunch of people were looking into it, I think.
It looks like he made some people mad.
Yeah. Who were saying that he was lying.
Basically,
because it only took him 2 weeks to solve both of the ciphers. And so everybody's like, there's no way. And then he realized that he'd been a little, quick to the gun. So, and a lot of people don't want the game to end because they think it's kind of fun, that kind of stuff. And it's unclear if, the FBI hasn't said anything about his findings because I think he turned them into them.
Well, and
they're still looking into it, and they're trying to figure out if it's actually he cracked the cipher is what they're trying to figure out. And so what I heard was that if you took his name,
some of the ciphers were figured out back in the day, like when this was going on. They figured out some, like, immediately.
But I think these are the last 2 he sent, I think. And they were never cracked. So
this is just an idea of what it kind of looked like.
Yeah,
like,
and so this is their point of, there was one that was 32 characters long and a 13 character one that started with "my name is," and then they didn't get the rest of it. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people say they're unsolvable because they're so short, so you can't make a pattern. You can't figure out a pattern from them because they're so short. So with a longer thing, you can start to notice a pattern, and then you can come up with an encryption key and go back and restart and then see if that works, right? So you can't do that. It's a lot harder to do that on a shorter one because you don't have as much time to work with. But this dude said he did it, and from what I heard was that if you took every letter from the dude that they suspect's full name, like including his middle name, out of the ciphers, then it made a message. But that's not what it sounds like here. I think that was for the old ciphers. If you take all of the letters of his name, full name, out of those ciphers, then they make a new message. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how much of this is true. We're just commenting on it. But apparently this guy says he cracked all the ciphers, and probably it says that this is, like, it says when it says "my name is," it probably says his name, I would assume.
Yeah. So anyways, long story short, they think they they think they figured out who the Zodiac Killer was. But we'll never know because he can't stand trial because he's dead.
Most likely he's dead because if he was at an age, they suspected him to be kind of an older gentleman in the 60s.
I think they expected him to be in his, like, 30s or 40s, but
so
I can't remember
he's
exactly.
Probably either in his 80s or 90s, or he's dead. Most likely.
He's obviously not killing people anymore.
No. He sent one last thing. I think the last one he sent was the one with his name, and then he just disappeared. Yeah.
And they were never able to crack the code, but they think they do.
Yeah, so that could be him, right? We have no... I don't know if we'll ever know, but maybe we will.
There's no way to say definitively, obviously. It's just based on evidence.
Because I don't think he ever left any DNA, but...
They didn't have DNA back then. They didn't have
the DNA testing. But I'm saying they might have left... I guess they probably didn't pick anything up. Yeah. But even if he did...
I don't really know. As interested in true crime as I am, I have not really...
I haven't looked into the Zodiac case at all because it's just so popular.
Or I haven't looked into really any of the super popular ones except for, like, Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer. But, like, John Wayne Gacy, I don't really know anything about that. And I don't really know anything about the Zodiac Killer either, but... Anywho.
Maybe we'll do some more research and do a thing about it.
Maybe we'll do, like, a true crime podcast where we just kind of, like, talk about...
Yeah. And obviously, if we hear anything else about it, if it's, like, proof that he's right, or, like, 90% certain that he's right, or something else comes out, we'll talk about it. Yeah. I wrote it down. So if something comes out...
We'll let you know.
We'll let you know. But probably not, in my opinion. Probably not. But it's a cool little thing. Cool little fact that happened a couple days ago. Yeah. We think we know who the Zodiac Killer is. So, anywho. That's that topic done.
All right. Moving on to the next one.
This one's also more fun than the other one.
Shane Dawson is a very, very well-known YouTuber. Most people know who Shane Dawson is, have watched his videos in the past. He was very, very popular a few years ago. He was in a lot of controversy, I think like a year and a half or 2 years ago, like a lot. Like, I don't even want to go into it, it's so much. But to sum it up, he said a lot of really bad stuff, especially in his, like, early career. He made an apology video for it. Everyone completely rejected the apology. Yeah, and then he quit YouTube. That happened for a long time. He didn't quit YouTube. He quit the internet. He just, like, fell off the face of the earth for like 2 years. Yep. And the day before yesterday, he posted a video on YouTube. called The Haunting of Shane Dawson. And I watched it today.
I've heard nothing about this. This is all on her.
I watched it today. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do because I really liked Shane before all the controversy came out. His videos were funny. I thought he was relatable, funny. I enjoyed watching his stuff. I had never seen his controversial stuff because, like I said, a lot of it was in his early career, like first starting out. And to give him a little bit of credit, back then, these things, yes, they were awful and horrible to say, but it wasn't to the extent of what we know now, how bad these things are to say, if that makes sense. Like, back then, you could get away with a lot more than you could now. Even though it wasn't right, you could get away with it.
Wasn't a big a deal nowadays, back then as it is nowadays. Sorry.
But anyway, so he made a video. He briefly talked in the beginning of his video about where he's been the last 2 years and talking about some of the stuff. And basically, he said, hate me if you want to hate me, but, you know, I've changed as a person, and I want to show you that.
I want to try again.
And I don't care what people think about me. Yeah. I'm going to do what I want to do, and if people hate me, fine. If y'all want to give me a second chance, great. But, like, my self-worth is not dependent on people behind a screen.
Yeah, which...
Their opinions of me.
That's fair.
Which is
honestly,
fair.
But...
My thing is, a lot of people are arguing about whether he should come back to YouTube or not. In my opinion, everybody deserves a second chance. And if he can prove that he has changed...
Maybe not a third chance.
If he can prove that he has changed and doesn't just say that he has, I think it's worth giving him another shot.
I agree.
Personally, I really enjoyed his videos. I loved his videos he made before he started doing the docuseries. And then I absolutely loved every docuseries he did. The Jake Paul one was very sketchy, in my opinion.
Well, it involves the Pauls.
No, but it wasn't even Jake Paul's fault. Shane, like... had a undercover psychiatrist come with him to Jake's house and diagnose Jake without his consent or knowledge.
Yeah, that is a little
so, really shady. But I didn't enjoy that at all, but I enjoyed getting to kind of see, like, insight into Jake, right? Because the point of Shane's docuseries were to take these super controversial YouTubers and give them a redemption arc, basically. And it worked. Because Tana Mojo was the first one, after TanaCon, redemption. Jake Paul was the second one, somewhat of a redemption. But the biggest one is Jeffree Star. Because Jeffree Star is one of the most controversial people ever. And...
I don't know, James Charles exists, so...
No, but Jeffree Star is kind of a...
Yeah, no, for sure.
Anyways, and he... made a redemption arc for him in his first docuseries, then in his second docuseries created a makeup collab with Jeffree. They made millions of dollars. Shane is set for life. Literally could do whatever he wants. Anywho, so...
Must be nice.
I understand that Shane has done a lot of really shady, questionable, bad things, and he's said a lot of shady and questionable bad things. But I think cancel culture is really toxic because you don't learn anything from being canceled. You just get everything taken away from you.
Yeah.
And, like, one example that I have other than Shane is Morgan Wallen.
Oh, I knew you were going to talk about him.
And the reason
Freaking sand in my boots is the bane of my existence.
The reason I say that is because he was videoed drunk at a party with his friends, and he said the N-word and uproar over it.
Which is semi-valid, but also he was drunk. Like, off his rocker drunk.
And Morgan Wallen is young. He's brand new in his career in country music, and he lost everything over it. Everything. He lost record deals. He lost his, like, record company. I'm pretty sure he got stripped of every title he had, like, every award and, like, iTunes charts and everything. He got stripped of all of it.
We're going to talk about it. We agree that you shouldn't say that.
Exactly.
If you're white.
But you should
because it's not yours. It's not yours.
Yeah.
It's semi-derogatory when we say it.
Yeah, no,
I'd say
definitely
it's even kind of derogatory. I think it's kind of a derogatory term in general, but
I think it just depends on how it's used, but it's not our place.
It's not our place to say. It's not our word, right?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, that kind of sounds a little dumb when you think about it, that like a word that we can't say, but when you really think about it, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
You know? But in defense to him, the most important thing to keep in mind there is, one, he was drunk off his
wasted.
rocker. Like, he did not have control of himself. As somebody who's been that drunk, you do not have control of yourself. Okay? Let's just... I've gotten to the point where I was throwing up my guts. I did not have control of myself.
I also do just want to mention two really quick things. One, his, black friend was with him and laughed when he said it.
I was getting there.
Well, hang on.
I was on my whole list of things to talk about.
Okay, go ahead then.
I had a whole list of things that I was going to be like... That's why I
ahead.
said part one was he was drunk off his rocker. 2, he was around his friends. And, obviously one of them was black. He was around his friends. They didn't care, right?
Yeah.
Like, and the most important thing is what you just said, is they didn't care.
That friend actually came out and said he didn't care.
Like, they don't care. And, like, yeah, probably still shouldn't have said it, let's be honest here.
Well, and he should have gotten repercussions from that. He can't just say that and not have anything happen.
No, and that's not what we're saying. We're not saying that nothing should have happened. We're just saying he shouldn't have lost his whole career for it.
Cancel culture is toxic because of that.
Yeah.
It's, this person did this one thing wrong, and now they're going to lose everything.
And now they just lose everything. They don't get another chance. They don't get to apologize. They don't get to move on. None of that. Yeah. It's just, it's over for you.
There were people standing up for him in the comments of, like, TikToks, and people coming out and standing up for him, his friends, yada yada.
Doesn't matter. He's gone.
Yeah, and I think, in my opinion, this speaks to who he is as a person, because he came out when all this was happening and said, "Do not defend me. I don't deserve it." Like, this whole long thing about, like, don't try to justify my actions. They weren't justified. Don't try to defend me. Like, you can't defend what I said. And I think that speaks to his character a lot, because instead of being like, "Oh, look, my armies are fighting for me.
Yeah.
All
or
my
saying,
fans are fighting
fine,
for me." He was like, "Hey, I messed up." Like,
but, and again,
it's
my whole thing of...
I made the bed. I have to sleep in it.
He was so drunk, though. Like, I don't think people understand, because it's so normal. When you are drunk, you do not have control of yourself.
Yeah.
Not when you're tipsy, you have control. Not when you're just a little drunk, you have control. When you are that drunk, you do not have control of yourself.
Yeah.
You don't. You may think you do, but you don't.
Yeah.
I promise.
Yeah.
And that's different for people who drink a lot. Like, but you have to drink a lot to get to the point where you're drunk and still have control of yourself.
Yeah.
That's first. Second off, again, his friend didn't care.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he probably, if he'd said that derogatory or to a group of people who, like, didn't want him to say it, asked him to stop, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's different.
And
the other thing is, he was on his own property, did not know he was being recorded.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying that to say, oh, he didn't know he was being recorded, so it shouldn't count as evidence. But, like, it's not like he made that decision, like, consciously, and, like, he was on his own property with his own friends, and they were just having a good time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying,
and
again...
I think, here's the thing, I think the reason that the neighbors started recording is because they, like, were outside the house and they were yelling.
Yeah.
They were being loud. And so, like, I understand.
And he probably wanted proof to, like, go to the cops or something and be like, "Hey, can you go over there and get him to quiet down," right?
And it just, in my opinion, cancel culture is really toxic, because you can't come back from it. And we do not evolve as a species if you get canceled. Like, you learn.
We're moving backwards.
Yeah.
You should be able to learn from your mistakes. And
do
here's
better.
the thing. If you make the same mistake twice,
that's different.
multiple times, that's completely different. Cancel them.
Yeah.
Get them out of here. Because obviously they're not learning.
But the problem with cancel culture is the wrong people are getting canceled.
Yeah.
There's literally people like the Pauls that continue to do stupid stuff that should not have a platform.
Well, one of them's getting better.
Yeah.
One of them is learning. The other one's not.
Logan Paul
One of them's
freaking filmed a dead body, read an apology off of a tweet that he tweeted, and everyone forgave him.
Yep.
But then, Morgan Wallen says one bad word.
Says a bad word when he was drunk off his butt.
And he gets canceled and loses everything.
And again, we're not saying there shouldn't be repercussions for it, because obviously he shouldn't do that. And, he should try and control himself better and not get that drunk. But he shouldn't lose everything, in my opinion. Yeah. But we'll probably get hate.
Circling back,
we'll probably get hate for that, but meh.
I don't care.
That's our opinion, that we're going to stand by it. So,
yeah.
Whatever.
Shane Dawson, I think he deserves to try to prove that he is better. Mm-hmm. And I think he took 2 years off, and they moved to Colorado. He's living his best life. He said he's doing well mentally. He's taken the last 2 years to learn things about himself.
Must be nice to be able to take a 2-year break and just not have to worry about anything.
Well, with all the money he made off the fucking
he probably still makes money.
Yeah. Anyways, so long story short, I think he should have a second chance, but if he screws up again, get him out of here.
Yeah, no, obviously there's like a limit to it.
Well, and it's sad because,
if you take advantage of your second chance and just do the exact same things again, then you're out. But
another toxic thing about cancel culture is everybody that defends the person or is, associated with the person after that also gets canceled.
Yep.
They literally might have not done anything wrong, but they're associated with the person that gets canceled.
Or if you come out and defend them, then you're gone too, you know?
But anyway, we'll move on to something.
We'll move on to something actually fun now, y'all.
We have a little game that we're gonna play. It's called Siblings Are Dating.
This is nothing new.
This is
all over the place.
It's
everywhere.
An account on
it's nothing new, but
it's an account on Instagram that they post pictures of couples or siblings,
and
you have to
this couple,
and you have to guess if they're siblings or dating.
Yeah.
So
we're not going to do a lot because we don't have a super lot of time. I don't want to make this super long.
Yeah,
and it's super late.
And we have one other topic to talk about.
And I have work in the morning, so we're just going to do a couple just for fun,
Maybe we'll start doing a couple at the end of the podcast or something. We'll see.
Probably not.
But anyway, so
we're just going to do a couple. We're starting with these boys here.
This gave it away. The comments give it away, so I don't really know what to do about that.
Can we cover the comments?
Oh, that one doesn't really give it away, does it?
I don't think so. I think that's meant as a, are they sisters or are they dating still?
I don't know.
They say sisters, but
okay.
I think they're siblings.
I don't think there's anything else to that.
It says siblings are dating, but then it doesn't have another picture, so I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll move on.
What the?
Stop.
Okay, alright. This is not going well already.
Alright, so this one.
Okay. First one for reals. Here we go.
Okay,
siblings.
I think No, I think siblings.
Because my first thought was dating.
My first thought was dating.
We've watched a couple videos from Jacksepticeye. By the way, if you don't watch him, he's amazing. Go watch him. Little shout out for him. He doesn't give us any shout outs. Why don't I give him a shout out? We learned a little something. We watched some of their videos. If whatever your first impression is, you should just go with the second one.
Yeah, and if they're really, really touchy, it means they're siblings.
Yeah, basically. So we're gonna go with siblings.
We're gonna go siblings.
Boom.
Oh, yep.
See, told you.
Sweet home Alabama.
Okay.
All right, these two.
Dating, I think, because this looks like a siblings thing.
I think maybe dating. Yeah.
I got a siblings vibe, so I'm going with dating. That's where I'm going. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, this is how you do it, y'all.
Okay, these two.
Stop smoking is one of the comments. That's funny.
Their cheeks look really similar. I think they're dating.
I'm gonna go dating. Yeah, I'm gonna go dating.
They're dating.
Boom. She looks like she's in her 40s and he's in his 20s, but we won't talk about that.
Moving right along. Oh, their eyes are
similar. Their eyes are identical.
I think they're
dating.
Which
means they're dating, right?
Yeah.
If it's so obvious that it's one, it's got to be the other.
We've also learned that, people must date people that look exactly like them.
Right? Because there's so many of these that are dating that you're like, they have to be siblings.
I think these guys are dating.
Yeah. See, honestly, if it's so obvious that it's one, it's easily the other one.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
That's probably dating? Actually, that might be... Ooh.
I think siblings. I think these two are siblings.
Dating.
Okay.
Dating is what I'm going with. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
See? But this is like, this could go either way. That one could have gone either way.
Yeah, they're really touchy. That's why I said I thought they were siblings.
Yeah, that's fair. These comments ruin it, y'all.
I think they're siblings.
I'm gonna go with siblings because they don't even look that alike.
Yeah, I think they're siblings.
Which means they're probably siblings.
Siblings.
Boom.
Yay.
I'm so good at this, y'all.
All right, next one. Oh.
Here's what we're doing. Not looking at the comments at all. Okay, just go straight for the picture.
I think they're siblings.
Siblings, for sure. I mean, it's a
'Cause the
little
hair.
obvious. It's a little obvious, but I think it's siblings. All right.
Okay, we should have. We said it was obvious, so we should have said dating.
Yeah, we should have. Okay, straight to the picture.
All right.
Oh crap.
Oh, I think they're dating. They look too much alike.
Yeah, they do, but their face is just so similar that it puts you off. You're like, they have to be siblings.
Yeah.
And then it's dating.
What do you think?
Dating.
Mine is dating.
Dating. Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly. If they look so similar, they're dating.
Yeah. Next one. Oh, God. These two are siblings for sure.
Siblings, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Siblings for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Okay.
well.
All right, let's try one.
All right, we'll make this our last one real quick.
All right, these two. Oh, I think they're siblings.
Because they look like they're dating.
Yeah, so I think
siblings.
they're siblings.
Oh, they're
Oh.
dating.
They're dating.
Dating. See, most people said siblings. I'm telling you.
Okay, let's do one more. Let's try to get the last one right.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, this got small.
Okay, I don't think that is one.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Was this taken on a
Dating.
fucking... Okay.
Dating. Because they look exactly the same.
I think dating.
Boom.
Yay. Okay, cool. All right, we're done.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
So,
do that.
anyways, that was
I
fun.
think a lot of those are staged.
I do too.
Honestly, I think a lot of these
they
are
purposely-
actually siblings, and
yeah.
they just say that they're not.
Or they just purposely make it look like maybe they're not actually like that, but they,
But they make it
they
look
pose
like they're
for
like
an awkward
best
minute
friends,
and then they move on.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I know I would do that with some of my best friends as a joke,
yeah.
but it's just okay.
Anywho, so
This last one's all on her.
Last thing is Squish. There's a couple major things from Kelly Toy, actually, which is the company that makes Squishmallows. There's a couple major updates for those of you that care, or you can skedaddle on out of here. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. It's up to you. If you leave now, bye. If you're staying for the rest of it,
Cool.
We'll say bye again.
So first thing, recently Squishmallow had a Halloween mystery box on their website, and people are starting to receive those boxes and not receiving Halloween Squishmallows, even though they were marketed as Halloween mystery boxes. Not everybody. Some are receiving Halloween boxes, but some are not. And that is a big problem, in my opinion. Kelly Toy has not said anything. They have not said anything about it, so we'll see if there's any updates on that next week. Actually, there's 3 major pieces. That was the first one. Second one is I'm going to try to look up a picture.
You should have done this beforehand.
I know, I didn't think about it.
Little shade. Oh, are you doing this one? Yeah. Were you going for 100,000 or 1 million?
I don't remember.
Because if you're going for 1 million, you need one more.
Okay, anyways, I'm trying to pull up...
It was right there. Go to more.
I'm trying to pull up
Images.
a picture.
There you go. I think you need one more 0.
I'm trying to pull up a picture of they're releasing another not anniversary, but milestone.
What if you just look up
I'll let you look it up. I'll talk about it. They're releasing another milestone Squish similar to Jack, the black cat that they did, and it's going to be a gold version of Hans. So we're trying to find a picture of it to show you.
There's not any pictures of this? Is it on their website?
I don't know. Anyways, So we don't really know much. We don't know exactly when they're being released, but we do know that they are coming. A lot of people don't really like them.
Here it is.
A lot of people, yeah, they don't have pictures.
Oh my
A lot of people don't really like it. But anyways, so last thing is a big bummer. But there was an issue with the Squishmallow factory / the just the company in general, that a lot of smaller businesses such as Hallmark, Learning Express, places like that are not receiving Christmas Squish this year, which is a really big bummer. Places like Walgreens and Target, I believe, still will, and Costco and places like that still are. But if I can see my phone when you're done.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of places aren't getting them. And it's because apparently the factory had an outbreak of COVID. They are not able to produce them fast enough to get them out in time for Christmas. Hopefully this problem gets resolved and we will get, Valentine's Day and that sort of thing. I'm really hopeful, but we're not 100% sure, obviously. I'm trying to find the picture of Hans because I know I have it somewhere.
I don't know anything. I don't do
Obviously,
Squish.
we're not sure. Nobody's really sure about what's going on, other than a lot of places aren't getting Christmas.
I'm filling out our chapters.
Oh, so here we go.
Put timestamps so you'll have.
This
ideas.
is limited edition Hans. The milestone is 100 million.
Oh, you needed two more zeros.
So that's him. We don't know if he's for sure gonna look like that. That was on Squish Alert app or squishalert.app on Instagram. If you're interested in Squish updates, they're a good place. But I might try to get my hands on one. I don't know yet. But we'll see.
You don't want to flex that?
Well, I don't know if I'll be able to get him.
Wait, did we put our flex in the back? Yeah, our weekly flex.
Malcolm.
We got Malcolm. She got Malcolm. That's our weekly flex.
Malcolm got delivered. This is 12-inch Malcolm. He got delivered a few days ago. My friend picked him up at Hallmark. But he is probably the most sought-after Squish at the moment. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, I gotta...
He's very great. I love him very much.
I'm causing problems, yo.
He's a little bit flat. Hang on. There we go. Now he's more mushroom-shaped, I think. Anyways, so this is Malcolm. He's pretty cool.
I didn't...
But anywho, so yeah, that's pretty much all that's been going on in the Squish world currently. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Is that all you gotta say?
I think so. I think that's it.
Okay, hold on. 1 second. I'm writing down our chapters. Okay.
So,
Is that everything? I think we covered all of our topics. Wow, we actually got through all our topics today.
I think that's it for the week. If you have any recommendations for topics,
obviously, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Like,
it's like 1:30 in the morning. Sorry, I keep yawning.
Yeah, we're going to bed. We gotta take our dog out, have a snack. We're going to bed.
But anywho, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to us rant.
We appreciate it, of course.
This one is a little longer than the other one, I think.
I thought the other one was roughly this long too.
Oh, so maybe we hit around the same time.
We're gonna try and keep it to 2 hours or under. I think is our goal.
And
don't want to be too long.
We're gonna actually put chapters in this one, so you can skip around with the topics.
I have it. I got my stopwatch, all that kind of stuff. So.
So stay tuned for further updates if you're interested in any of that.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Toodles, y'all. Toodles.